Welcome back with another episode with the Ram, man. Episode 38. Everyone doing today, man? We got Nate, we got Rudy, man. What's up, guys?
What's going on, RJ? What's going on, Nate?
What's up?
Man, Rudy, you looking like a rock star right now, man.
I am a rock star, RJ. Always.
You know what they say, you look good, you play good. Ain't that right, Rudy?
Exactly.
Well, I can't wait till next month, man. If you play good, actually.
RJ.
I see a lot of highlights out there. So you know.
Oh, you know what, RJ? I don't know. I don't want to go on a rant because to your point, because it used to be like if you're around, I want to just show you, because when there was a kind of like a nuance, a debate between you and I, who's a better shooter. When you were around, I wanted to show you, but it's no longer, RJ. I passed.
Oh, I can't wait.
Well, hey, let's get started though. Pacers defeated Knicks 138-135. Did the Knicks choke, or did the Pacers simply out-clutch them? Go ahead, Rudy.
Well, I have a very different opinion as far as what happened last night, and I know that for everybody who was watching the game, I picked the Knicks to win the game due to the fact that I think they slightly better than the Pacers, and of course the motivation side of it, remembering what happened last year. So I picked the Knicks to win last night. It was kind of like shocking to see him, losing the game. But as opposed to everybody who's kind of like being the prisoner of the moment right now, and especially the Knicks fan, I think they're probably having a deja vu moment, remembering what happened last year. I have a different opinion of what happened last night. I think that the Knicks didn't win. It was just one of those moments, I would call it an anticipatory relaxation, where they started the game. They were very motivated. They had all the energy and the focus. And then down the stretch of the game, as if we watched the game last night, it was, I think the Knicks was 14 point. They had a 14-point lead, under 5 minutes at the end of the game. And I think they were still up by 9 under 1 minute. You know what I mean? I think they get their feet off the gas last night, and then ultimately they just lost the game because remember, the Pacers, they have a good team, and this is what I like the most about this series, as opposed to the West, is that this series, if you're a basketball fan, you can really appreciate what's going on in the series, because the matchup, both of the teams, they match up very well. If you look at the Pacers, they have good players, but they don't have no superstar that can just give you the ball and just change the trajectory of the game. They just have a good team, a great point guard. And when you go to the Knicks, it's pretty much the same thing. They have a 6'2" point guard, ball hogging, but they have an overall team. They have talent, they have grit, and on the other side, they play just great basketball. It's a evenly matched. You know what I mean? So anything can happen. So, and I think this is exactly what happened last night. It's just like, you don't know what's going to happen. Anybody can make a mistake at any point, and then that will change the trajectory of the game. This is what happened. The Knicks, they, control the whole game for the majority of the game, and, down the stretch, they just, leave, I would say, their feet off the pedal, and then this is what happened. So if I were them, I would not panic that much, considering that there's not a huge discrepancy between the both of the team. They just have to come back and be focused and do the same thing that they did throughout the entire game last night. And I'm pretty sure I still have them as the one to come up on top by the end of the series. So I would not panic. It was just an anticipatory relaxation that they experienced last night, and then they lost the game. That's all it was.
What you, Nick?
I agree with what Rudy said, but I also believe the Knicks just choked. Like, you up that much with a minute left, 2 minutes left, up 14. Like, come on now, like, you're supposed to win that game, and you at home. Like, that's a big loss, because now you're going to Indiana, and you know how they get at home. They've been beating a lot of good teams at home. That home court advantage is a real thing. So I think they gave that game away, and I honestly think that's going to cost them in the long run. I got the Pacers beating them overall. especially now that first win that just really helped them at their place away. So
And how
yeah,
many
I got.
games?
What you mean? How many games?
Nate,
I mean, shoot. I'd probably say Knicks. I mean, Knicks gonna get some wins. It's probably gonna be like 5 or 6.
5?
they, I understand your point from a disciplinary kind of aspect because you are in the playoff. There's no joke. Anything can happen at any point, especially when it's an even matchup between the two. I understand your point, but when we're looking at the records of the Knicks, they don't have much record of them, losing game like that. One of the qualities that they have is the grits that they show, the character, the consistency that they built over the
Ooh.
whole 82 game in the season. We talked about this in our previous session where the Knicks, the coach of the Knicks, they have the players going at 100 miles per hour every single game. So they have built the character. There's nobody that can question the character. It just so happened last night that they get their feet off the gas and then they lost the game. They don't have many of these moments. You know what I mean? I think if
Mhm.
there's one team that we can give the benefit of the doubt is the Knicks because I'm pretty sure that they have built this character, over. I would say over the past 2 or 3 years with the coach. You know what I mean? So I'm not a Knicks fan. I don't have much dog in the fight, but also I can understand that they're gonna come back and play hard and show the character that they have built over the past 2 or 3 years, especially with the acquisition of Jaylen Brunson and right now I'll call Anthony.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if they built for it or not. But
But
they
Nate,
can
you
play
said
all.
in 5? You think Pacers will
Bruh,
win in
that game,
5?
that game might have cost them. Don't be surprised. Just don't be
I
surprised.
would not be surprised either, Nate. It's just that it's kind of hard to go against the Knicks, and especially playing, a team like the Pacers, because, like I said, there's not much discrepancy between them two. Although they built a little different, there's not much of a ball hog in Pacers. They have a very fast pace. They have a great point guard. Everybody touch the ball. That's what represent the team. The Pacers is their ability to pass the ball. Everybody touches the ball, and when you have a team like that, regardless they down 5, 10, 15 points, they can come back. They're all professional. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Once you have everybody involved like that, you don't lose till you lose, and this is exactly what
yeah.
transpired last night.
I ain't gonna lie,
The
that man
Knicks,
made
the Knicks just give him that little crack,
5
and then
threes.
they came back
6.
and won the game.
6?
He made 6 in a row.
6 threes straight. Like this man
Tough.
got fire.
That was tough.
And the crazy part, he's not even one of the best shooters on the team.
Exactly.
Who?
That's what I'm saying. They haven't even played their best game yet, bro. That's what I'm
Who?
saying.
The Pacers?
What? No, the shooter, not the shooter. What's his name?
Nate Smith.
Naismith?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, like I said, the great thing about the Pacers is the fact that they don't play no hero ball. When a team playing hero ball, if they down, they just down. You know what I mean? The Pacers,
Mhm.
they play very fast. Everybody touches the ball. Nobody ever loses their confidence. Their touch up. It's just like they don't lose till they lose. You know what I mean? So that's a great aspect of the game, and it showed last night.
Hmm.
So Nate, what adjustments must Knicks make for game 2, man?
Well, you need Cat to be more aggressive. Like Rudy said, this man Jaylen Brunson. I know he's great. I know he's a good point guard. But man, it can't all be about drawing fouls all the time. You gotta mix it up, man. Get some driving kicks. You got some shooters around you. Bridges could get a bucket when you want to. Like it can't just be Brunson, because I don't think that's gonna get it. That's gonna get it done for them.
You said Rudy?
Yeah, that's a great point that you make because I've been a critical of Jalen Brunson. I am a critical of any point guard because when you play point guard, it's got to be passing first, and any point guard that don't make it a priority to have everybody situated first. To me, it's an automatic critics. Yeah, but also I think I don't think there's much they have to do. They just have to remain focused. You know what I mean? They have to remain focused because one of their qualities is toughness, is character, is grit, which they
Yeah.
bring every night. And you know, have they not taken their foot off the gas last night? We would not even be worried about them, you know, today. You know what I mean?
Nope.
Because it would have been an easy game, and we would move on thinking that they probably would win in 6 games. You know what I mean? So I am trying not to be the prisoner of the moment last night. I think that they're gonna come back and play the game that they usually play. It's gonna be toughness, it's gonna be discipline, and then of course I think they will come on top. How many games? I think probably the series is gonna go in 7.
Yeah, I
But
think so
I'm not
too.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not worried about them that much, considering the fact that they have already established who they are throughout the entire season.
Man, I ain't gonna lie, they let that game slip.
Telling you,
That
boy.
game
It's gonna
right there,
cost.
they should not let the game slip
Anticipatory relaxation. That's what it was.
because honestly, if game two, Pacers could do the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, Pacers gonna always play the same play style. They never gonna switch it up.
No.
They gonna get the rebound and pass the ball
The
ahead.
Pacers are one of the teams throughout the entire league that you don't want to mess around with them. And
No,
then
because
and the beauty about the series, I don't know if I forgot to say that. The beauty about the series, when you're looking at both of this team, is just like they are where they are right now. It's not because they were the best team. Matter of fact, they were underdog anyway. You know what I mean? From
Yeah.
last year, even when they made it to the both of the conference, they made it to the conference finals. They were underdog. But one thing about them is their grit, their character, and you cannot sleep on the Pacers. You just cannot.
no,
You know what I mean?
but don't forget you gotta add OG was out too. That's when he remember he played the first 2 games. They was up two
That's
zero, and when he got out, Pacers took
Yeah,
over.
yeah. I mean, you can make a case for that, but that alone doesn't take nothing away from
No, of course not.
the fact that they play with the highest pace, and they have a true point guard. RJ,
Yeah,
true point guard. It's not a point guard that's just looking to fill the box or stat. Yeah, no, he passes the ball and he will find you. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's something. There's a chemistry that gets created when you have a point guard that's truly always about you touching the ball.
let me ask you this question, Rudy. Do you consider him as a star or like a
I think
superstar?
he's a star. He's a star. I'm not sure about superstar, but he's a star.
What would make him a superstar?
I mean, here's the thing about him. It's just like we all, as basketball fans, we all a little biased when it comes to thing that comes a little unorthodox. I think he's one of those unorthodox kind of players. You feel what I'm saying? So
Okay.
when it comes to his skills as a point guard, he's up there. But
Yeah.
I think there's something about him that he don't check the box when it comes to. He's a little awkward. Even his shot, if it doesn't go in, you don't
Yeah.
trust. He's just like you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's something about him. I think it will be a matter of time if he happens to win this series and go to the finals. And God forbid that he makes some noise in the finals. You have to start considering him as a superstar. You
Yeah, I
know,
agree.
regardless how awkward he looks. You know what I mean? So I think for him, it's just a matter of time. For what he's already done, if he has the style for it, we probably was sitting there considering, yes, he's up there. But
Yeah.
we all biased as basketball fan. You know what I mean? So yeah, so I think it's just a matter of time.
Okay. But on to the next. Can Jaylen Brown be a number one option on the title contender?
Go ahead, Rudy.
Shit. Where RJ? RJ comes with a lot of hard questions today. You got flow. I would say yes and no, RJ. That's the best I can do. And the yes, here's why. The reason why you ask the question is because obviously when you're looking at Jaylen Brown, I think he's 6'5" or 6'6".
6'6".
I never the height right, but I think he's 6'5", 6'6". The reason why you ask the question is because you see that he has the ability to shoot the ball behind the arc, mid-range, go to the rim, go to the paint, and of course, he's a willing passer, not a great passer, but he's a willing passer. A defender. He's a good defender as well. He's not a great rebounder, but he'll give you four, even 5 rebound,
Yeah.
normally. So when you're looking at the totality of his game, that can entice you to ask the question: can he be a top one on a winning team? Yes, it looks this way, but I'm a little biased when it comes to number one option on a winning championship winning team. I'm a little biased. When I see this, I'm looking at LeBron's height, LeBron's size. You know what I mean? With the skill. I think he checked all the boxes when it comes to the skill. But when it comes to the height and the size, here's what's going to happen, RG. And let alone sometimes one of the flaws of his game is not being highlighted too much because the team has so much talent and they have
Yeah.
Jason Tatum. They have so many people that can play defense. Sometimes he can be lost in playing iso ball. You know what I mean? So that alone can be a factor by having him the number one player in a winning team. I think that he has all the skills, but what we're missing is that he don't have the height, he don't have the size. And what's going to happen for players like him, he's going to have to rely on his ego a lot. And then depending on who he has, who he has on his team, he going to abandon them sometimes. And then, that can impact on the team. You know what I mean? So, and then injury also. When you have player undersized like him, they're going to have to do too much throughout the season.
Hold on. Let me pause you right there, Rudy. You saying undersized because there's a lot of players that's undersized that's number one options on their team.
But they're not winning team. That's exactly my point. You're not NBA winning team. I mean, don't get fooled by Brunson right now who's in finals. These are we call this anomaly, aberration. You know what I mean? They're not the usual. They're not the normal thing that happened. Traditionally, this is not what happens.
Steph Curry?
You have to have the height and the size and the skill for you to be the number one. You know what I mean?
Steph Curry.
This is an anomaly. This is Steph Curry of the world. Hey, you know what I mean?
I don't know. It sounded like a pretty normal thing. I mean,
it's not normal, Nate. If you look at the championship. Look at the championship that had been won. They have not been won by a regular guy. You know what I mean? It's just an anomaly. You know what I mean? That's this way I'm going. It's just RJ's question is just a reflection of how skillful that Jaylen Brown is. But my trepidation is that when you have somebody of his height and his size, he's going to have to rely on his skill a lot. And sometimes that can be, that can be a tax on his body. And ultimately, as we see this happen too many times, ultimately that can impact on the team. And of course, that will bring injury. It's a yes and no answer for me, RJ.
What's your Nate?
Number one option on the title contender. I'm gonna go with no. He's a great player, great player. The Celtics love him. They use him a lot. He's very useful for them. But he just you look at number one options on title contenders, and he's just you don't see Jaylen Brown. You see him as a Robin, and he could be a very great Robin, but to him to take that Batman role, I don't feel like he's there yet. I don't think he's there yet.
So let me ask you this question, Nate. You think, since Jason Tatum out for next season, you think the Celtics will have a big downfall next season?
Oh, for sure. For sure. I don't think they're going to be as good as they were the last 2 years. I can see them finishing maybe top 5, top 5 in the East. And then, the East is getting tougher every year. Cavs, look at the Cavs, look at the Pacers, look at the Knicks, top 5 is going from how good they were to a championship team to now possibly making top 5. I don't see him taking them over top 3 for sure. By himself like that without Tatum, nah, I don't see it.
RJ, are you asking the question knowing that Tatum is not going to be available next year?
He's not gonna be available next season.
Obviously, if you remove
Nah, if
Tatum, if you remove
it's
Tatum from the
it's
team,
listen, Rudy, it depends on if they make it to the finals. You get me? If they make it to the finals, he'll be back.
To
But
the
the injury,
finals?
I'm just listen. I'm talking about his injury
it
timetable.
all depends on how successful the team is, and then he will decide whether to
Come back and play
come back or not.
because the timetable of his injury is a whole year.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's obvious if you remove somebody like Tatum on your team, of course, it's going to impact the overall team and, of course, the success of the team. But what I was thinking initially, RJ, some people, because the obviously the Knicks eliminated the Celtics, some people might be the prisoners of the moment and thinking that that's the demise of the Celtics. I would say a success, but not too fast though. And the reason why is because one of the construction of the team, and two, the tradition that they have, and three, the coach that they have, and plus, I would say the talent that they have. Yes, Jason Tatum is Jason Tatum. There's no question about it. But I will reserve the right to give them the benefit of the doubt. One, because they've been through a situation like that. Remember 2 or 3 years ago, New York Knicks eliminated them, or Miami eliminated them. But guess what?
Miami.
Yeah, they came back. They came back and won a championship. You know what I mean? So
Rudy, they had Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown.
what I'm saying, I understand the removal of Jason Tatum. I understand the impact. But a lot of people start to assume that just the fact that they lost against the Knicks, it means that that's the complete demise of the Celtics. I don't think so. I think that they have the character, they have the coach, they have the talent. If they decide to keep the same players on the team, they have all of this for them to make some kind of noise in the East. You know what I mean? We don't know how far they can go, but I'm just saying that I don't think that's all for the Celtics.
Mm.
For me, I think what they have to do this offseason, they have to figure a way to find a piece to trade Porzingis.
Why?
I don't think he played a full season. He doesn't even play in the playoffs.
Yeah, but
Like
he won a championship with them, and he was a big
he didn't
part
even play. He played
of
two
the success.
games.
I mean, you're talking about this year because he was injured,
No,
but
last year too.
in the
He played
championship,
two games in
RJ,
the
yeah,
championship.
he played. He played in the finals. He played in the
He
He
finals.
was a,
played.
He
he's a
He
big
missed.
played only.
factor.
He played only two games. He played only 2 or 3 games.
RJ,
I'm telling you, Rudy. He played the first game. He had like 14 points. The second game he had like 8. Next game he had like 6. Then he got
but I'm
injured.
talking
He
about
didn't play.
I'm talking about the not just the finals, but I'm talking about the overall play of them because he was a big piece for them, RJ. He was a
No, of
major
course.
piece in their success. But anyway, I mean, yeah, but who you going? I mean, I don't know, but I'm a little iffy on this because one of the problems that he has, he's tall and mentally strong. He can shoot the three. He can be a
Yeah.
presence for you. But one thing about him, because he's injury prone, and for players like that, you cannot capitalize on them much because your best ability is your availability. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
he had a great impact on the Celtics, but one can make the argument, well, should it have been about Tatum? Should it have been about Jaylen Brown, and of course the Derek White of the world, the Drew Holiday of the world? Well, his presence probably would have been, meaningless
Yeah,
because he
different.
was not available much. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
he has a great game that teams can be beneficial of, but at the same time, um, the whole cliche remain: your best ability is your availability.
That's true. But on to the next though. Hey Rudy, let me ask you this question, man. If you were the NBA player, right? Would you want to be the face of the league or people's champ?
Hmm. I mean, that's very hypothetical, RJ. I don't think it's no question that anybody who has the skills and who has the character and the cliche to be the face of the league and rejected. I think that anybody, if you have the cliche, if you have the resume for it, I think it's a great thing that you represent a league like the NBA. And then I can see myself, of course, if I were in a position like that, of course I would want it. That's what I would prefer. But you have to be practical as well. You have to look at yourself in the mirror, as in who you are. You have the character, you have the cliche for it, you have the resume for it, and base your decision on that. Um, because being the face of the league, it's a lot that comes with it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's a lot of responsibility. You have to perform every night. Um, you have to have the mental fortitude for it, which I think a lot of people don't give LeBron James a credit for. There's a lot that comes with it. So, although I would, I would say that that would be my choice, and I think that would be the choice of many people should they have the cliche for it. But it's a very hypothetical thing to think about, RJ. I would lean toward the question. I mean, the answer, yeah, but at the same time, I cannot be dismissive of the level of responsibility and the quorum in which you have to perform every night.
How about you, Nate?
It's a tough question. That's a tough question because who would you consider the face of the league in 2000, like 3? That time.
When LeBron first got in the league, it was
Uh, sorry, because I'm thinking people's champ. I'm
It's
thinking
AI.
that's exactly what I was thinking of. Exactly what I was thinking of because he's worldwide. He had people I know personally, dudes. When I was in Romania, my strength coach, he had a picture with him wearing braids and a headband, talking about I was influenced by AI. I'm like, that's crazy. Like he just a worldwide figure, but he wasn't never the face of the league. So it's like, so I was just trying to think who was the face of the league.
yeah. The
And
reason for it. I'm sorry,
I,
Nate.
I I think Kobe was until that situation happened.
No,
mm,
RJ, it was not even Kobe because you have to look at the context of it, and that's a great point that you made, Nate. Because when you're talking about the face of the league, it's a combination of things, and then sometimes we have multiple players that are who are thriving at the same time, and then we talk about face of the league, but because they all right there, we don't know who to choose. You feel what I'm saying? And people fall under, well, that's my champ, that's my people. It was the same situation for AI because at the time that he was balling, but mostly it was because he was competing against the Kobe of the world and the combination of Kobe and Shaq, who've won like
mm,
who had three-peat, who had three-peated. You know what I'm saying? So the face of the league was between Kobe and Shaq. You know what I mean? It was
mm.
between Kobe and Shaq,
Yeah.
and then AI was on the opposite side, and people who was watching the game, especially after the finals, AI was the underdog, and people appreciate him because of his toughness, his style. Obviously, he was a flashy, kind of player because of his, crossover. He was my favorite player at the time too. But it's just like it's at the time when 2003, I think it was between Kobe and Shaq, but AI was people's champ because he was looked at as the underdog. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So,
what you say, Nate?
so like, I'll probably go with face of the league too. I'd rather be known as.
Being a face of the league comes with a lot.
I don't
I'm sure you
care.
know.
I don't care. I feel like I'm built for that. Um, I can try to compose myself. LeBron, I give him credit as well. Like Rudy said, I give him credit, man, because that man, no scandals, family, black man. Like just lovable, and he treated being the face of the league with respect. So I like, tip my hat off to that. But so that's why I'll probably choose face of the league as well. Just like, I mean, you're still playing basketball at the end of the day. You just, if you're the face of the league, obviously you're a great player. So you just do what you do, and now you just gotta, keep your off the court stuff situated, and just do what you got to do on the court, and you can be the face of the league.
Okay. Well, on to the next. Should the Nuggets trade Michael Porter Jr. this offseason?
Hmm. I mean, trade him. Oh, bro, you got to think about it, man. He's 6'10", 6'10", 6'11", shooter. And yes, I know in the playoffs he didn't really show up that much. Sometimes when he did, he did. When he didn't, he didn't. But I don't know about trading him. I feel like that's a good team. I feel like with him, it makes them who they are. I'm not saying uh obviously he's not more important than Jamal Murray and Jokic, or even Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon stepped up. He a whole different player this year. This is the best I've seen him in a while. But I don't think I would trade for him. I think I like what he does for the Nuggets. I think the Nuggets like what he do. He just needs to, be more consistent, step up more when needed. But I don't think they should trade for him. I think that would be a hit on the Nuggets organization.
I mean, he make it 35 a year.
I mean, he's worth it. Yo, man, he's tall. He defends, bro. He's like a KCP with 6 more inches. Pause. You know what I'm saying? Like is bruh.
What you say, Rudy?
Good player.
It's I see both sides of the coin. I think you asked the question is it's a reflection of how he performed in the playoff, and of course we all seen what happened. And sometimes I was looking at him, was this brother only good against the Lakers? What's going on with him? Because when he's playing against the Lakers, he looks like he's Steph Curry of the world. You don't need much time for him to hit the jump three wherever he's on the court, left, right, mid, you know what I mean? So when you're looking at the way that he performed in the playoff, you wonder, is he worth being a starter? You know what I mean? But obviously, when you're looking at the totality of his
Yeah.
career as a Denver Nuggets player, that's not what it is. But this year, particularly, he didn't perform. So I think this is what RJ is reflecting to when he asks this question. I would answer this way. Well, anybody borrowing LeBron James of the world, Giannis of the world, Jokic of the world, anybody can be traded. And therefore, if you have the opportunity to trade him, of course, go for it, especially after we just seen what happened. You know what I mean? Go for it. But at the same time, the flip side to it is that if you trade somebody like him and you bring something new, and then the trade is not worth it, here's what's going to happen. Now you close your eyes on the chemistry that this dude had with Jokic. You close your eyes on his behavior. You close your eyes on so many things that he brings on the table. Just the fact that he has a bad year doesn't mean that you should get rid of him. Hell, if you have to get rid of him for a better player, do it. That's just the business side of of the game. Do it, but at the same time, you have to be cautious. You know what I mean? I think that he should have been better this year in this playoff, but at the same time, you just have to look at the totality of the situation and make the right move. I am of the belief that Denver Nuggets made some mistake last year. The fact that they let go of KCP, the fact that they bring in Russell Westbrook, which for Russell Westbrook it was good, but I
It
don't
was
think
good.
that did much for the team overall. They needed more shooters. For instance, when you have somebody like Porter Jr., who didn't have his best game in this, especially in the last series, who did they have to shoot for them? Nobody. You know
No.
what I mean? Why do you let somebody like
What
KCP?
what what's so surprising was AG Aaron Gordon.
I mean,
Crazy.
yeah, but he's not a shooter. That's
Nah,
different. You know
nah.
what I mean? It's different. Eric Gordon, he just can shoot the ball. That alone don't make him a shooter. A shooter is somebody I'll miss five, but I'll single hard because shooters don't have memories. You pass the ball to Eric Gordon, he missed two shots. The next thing you know, he's not gonna shoot the ball no more. You feel what I'm saying?
No.
So they didn't have this. You know what I mean? They didn't have this. So You just got to look at the totality of the situation before you make a decision like that. But I agree that it should be something for them to consider. Next year.
I feel like if you could trade up, do it. If you could trade at his level and down, I don't think they should do it.
That's a better way to answer the question.
Yeah, I think like because you got to maximize Joker right now. Like you gotta because he only gonna get better.
Yeah, but also RJ, I know that we talking about Porter Jr., but I was saying that he's not the only one to be scapegoated though. We need to talk if we're having an honest conversation. We need to talk about Jamal Murray as well. What has he done lately? What happened to him? I think he probably played like 2 or 3 good games throughout the entire playoff. What happened to him? The last game, he was left into the oblivion. It was no show. You know what I mean? So we need to have a conversation like that. Although he's a great player. Unfortunately, he never made it to All-Star, although he has performed most of the time in the playoff. But if we're having an honest conversation, he needs to be in the equation as well. Is it worth it to repeat with him next year? Because Jokic, obviously, he deserves better. You know what I mean?
I agree.
But on to the next, bro. So, Nate, what are your thoughts on the situation between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese?
You talking about when Caitlin fouled her?
Yeah.
I mean, she played ball the right way, man. I respect Caitlin Clark a lot, man, because not only just for her skill, but just like who she is. You know, she especially just that play alone just describes this whole argument with people that they have with them too. All she did was make a hard foul. It happens. It's basketball. Like what? Like Angel Reese want to get up all fast, cause all this commotion. That's the same thing that's been happening for years since they've been in college. That's what the people do around her. That's their fan base. They just want to cause commotion. Angel Reese ain't producing, but they want to cause commotion. Like comparing her to Caitlin Clark. This girl's dropping triple doubles her first game. Come on, like it's not. Yeah, bro. I'm a Caitlin Clark fan. I ain't gonna lie. That girl is tough. She got my respect. She had me. Besides my little sister, Caitlin Clark was the reason I was watching women's basketball in college. Like she had me watching full games. Like this girl.
I didn't know you have a little sister playing basketball, Nate.
Yeah. I brought it. I don't know if I brought her to LA when you was there.
No.
I brought her a few times to LA. But yeah. She played for Bethune.
Okay.
Rudy, she tall, Rudy.
Yeah. She might beat you in the post. No cap.
All right. Don't
give you a bump.
What position she plays?
She played a 4 or 5. She like my little brother, but she like him. Yeah, same height and everything.
Damn.
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, you know me. I got my weapon. My weapon is behind the arc. We'll go from there. I know.
Yeah. Hey, that'll be a good matchup.
But I know. Did you finish, Nate? When it comes to
I mean, just overall that situation just. She made a hard foul. Wasn't nothing intentional, like nothing crazy. Angel Reese went crazy, caused all this commotion, blah blah blah. And no, Kayla Clay ain't do nothing. Walked away, no worse needed, and just continue playing ball.
I'm answering this question. Is it good for the league?
Of course. It's entertainment. It's at the end of the day, it's entertainment, and
okay.
So it's good to have this little back and forth, but if you know real basketball, not just I hate to go there with it, but it's not just about skin color, it don't. Caitlin Clark was black, I would still have her back no matter like skin color, any of that. She's just the overall better player. But people want to bring it to race, like support. But of course I do. But like we talking basketball right now, and she's just a better player.
Go ahead, Rudy.
I mean, it's funny that this question is being asked, but I think the whole situation is just a microcosm of the history of America,
Hmm.
as we all know. As it portrayed, Caitlyn, a white girl, and Angel Reese, a black girl. You know what I mean? And as we remember the history of America, the antagonism between black and white, it's always been there. And of course, in basketball as well, we can go back
Yeah,
as far as Magic and
Magic and Bird.
Bird. Is not that talent wise, as you just pointed out.
Exactly.
Talent wise, there's a huge discrepancy between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is up there, but historically, that's what it is. You know what I mean? There has been it's always been an antagonism between black and white, and this is exactly. I think the whole situation get me excited as a basketball fan, but at the same time, I have a little trepidation about it. The excitement is the fact that, for the simple reason that I think people subtly we get excited when we see black, white. If you know what I'm saying? I mean, we may not admit it, but black, white on the basketball court. Hey, who's winning? Who's tougher? So it get us excited, and it gets everybody on their feet. Also, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think
and Rudy. Plus, it's a storyline between these two
yeah,
people
you know what I mean?
from college.
Yeah,
From the
so
you can't see me. From the
Hmm.
nah, you can't see me. She
yeah,
mad. You won
exactly.
a
So it gets
championship.
everybody on their feet, Nate, and then let alone I think that it brings viewership to the WNBA as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So Clark alone is, oh my God, she's becoming a mogul before our eyes. And then Angel Reese in her own lane, I would say off the court, she's becoming her. I mean, she's creating her own brand. So overall, it brings viewership to the league, and then mostly I would say on the good side, mostly it both of them are beneficial of this so-called beef. You know what I mean? I
yeah,
think that being who she is, Caitlin Clark, that is she's building her brain is kind of like a contrast to her career, and she's building her brain based on this. And of course, let alone Angel Reese. It's just like it's a lot of good thing from a basketball standpoint that we can appreciate. The little trepidation that I have is the timing where we are. I don't want to get too political. We know who's in power right now. We know what has been going on. We know, all the, yapping. I just don't want it to go too far. You know what I mean? I don't want America to get in a situation where it's become so much black and white. And of course, we know the history. I don't want this to be repetitive. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I just don't want it to get too far. But at the same time, as a basketball fan, I cannot sit there and being hypocritical about the fact that I like watching them playing against each other. And we
yeah,
know that both of them, they're going to bring the A game. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
So, that's how
But
I
she
look
just
at it.
needs to make her layups though, bro.
Yeah, well, I mean, we can. Oh, here's the thing. Yeah, that's a good critic. I think that, as Nate just pointed out, it's such a huge discrepancy between those two. Clark is overall the shooting ability, the pass. Hell, Clark is even rebounding the
But
ball.
but listen, she's third all time triple double.
You know
Third
that's that.
all
You know
time.
what I mean?
She only played like 46 games, bro.
That's
No.
40.
crazy.
So yeah, so there's a huge discrepancy between them, and I think that all Andrew Reese, although she already established herself as a rebounder, yes,
Mhm.
that's good. But hey, at the same time, okay, adjustment is part of life. You know what I mean? Adjustment
Yeah.
is part of life. Is it necessary for you to adjust your game as well? You need to spend some time of your off season in the gym bettering your game. I don't know whether it's your shot, in your handle, in your layup. I don't know. You need to do something, because the contrast is on the other side. This girl, we know her for just unlimitedness in her shot. She's the Steph Curry of the WNBA. Of course, she passes the ball, and then she's low key a good rebounder. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let alone her style. She's just classic. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So if I were in Andrew Reese the team, I think I would have her work on her game as well. Not to say that she needs to change her style, because superficially, if you want to be critical, there's a lot of stuff that she does. I don't think it looks good on her, but hey, culturally we need to embrace it. Clark came from a different environment, and the classness that she, displayed. We cannot force Angel Reese to act this way because they came from different environment. It is what it is. People don't change
Yeah.
that, and
Yeah.
we have to get it with, it's part of the package. You know what I mean? It is what it is. So, but I think
Hey, Rudy,
wise,
real quick. Back to what you said about Angel Reese working on her game. You know, she was working last summer with Lisa Leslie. You know Lisa Leslie, right?
Leslie.
Lisa Leslie, that she like a all-time WNBA great, a big. She
Oh
dunked in the game, I believe.
yeah. So, well, I mean,
First.
well, we don't know for how long did she work with her, and whether that was his focus, because anybody can have 2 or 3 practice with somebody, but if Angel Reese, as long as she has not been convinced that I need to work on this, there's not much that will change, because you can have
That's
a
a
Yeah.
coach
fact.
work with you for a week, but do you keep practice? Do you wake up in the morning and say that, yeah, we need to change this? I think that's all come down to his perception,
Yeah.
her perception as well. You know what I mean? So, um, you know,
Hey,
we
just like
all,
what Kyrie said. Kyrie said when he worked on something, he worked for a whole 1 or 2 months.
yeah, it's not just one time thing. It's not one time thing. It has to start from here. You have to dream
Yeah.
about it. You have to actually want it. And especially, as we've seen for many players in the league, a lot of time we get critical about them because there's not much change that take place in the game. And the reason for it is because when you get to that level, until you make that change here, the change will not take place. There's
Yeah.
few that they have off season. They work 1 week, 2 weeks. They're like, yeah, I work. No, it's not going to change like that if you don't put a lot of time, because you need to. It's a rewiring. You need to
Yeah.
rewire your brain so before it shows in your game. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it don't happen like that though, and that's why we appreciate players who, change over time, who have adjusted their game over time, because it's not an easy thing to happen. It's just not.
But on to the next, our last question of today, man. We're gonna blind rank these NBA players in their prime. I'm gonna give
Mm.
you 10 NBA players. So who want to go first?
Rudy go first. I went first last time. Rudy go first.
So I'm gonna give you a list, Rudy. You just say
Go
the
ahead.
number. Steve Nash, 1 through 10.
What do you mean 1 to 10?
1 through 10.
How would I rate him?
Yeah, blind
Yeah.
rank. So you don't know who I'm telling you right now.
Shit, that's hard. I don't understand. I'm not sure I understand. Do I grade him based on his career, or do I
No.
grade him relatively to somebody else?
No, just
Yes.
1 through 10. Yeah, somebody else. But you don't know who I'm telling you.
I
Where
would
do you put him?
I would
Where you
say
put him?
I would 6.
I was
6.
thinking that. I was thinking that.
Okay. AI.
Bro, what?
That's what's called blind rank.
I would get 6. I would say 5.
James Harden.
Oh, why you keep asking me questions about the same kind of? 4.
Derrick Rose.
Oh, bro.
Wait, who you got over Derrick Rose?
Just Derrick Rose.
That don't make no sense, bro. I never done. 7.
Oh, wow.
Carmelo.
Bro, what kind of list is that? I don't know. I don't even know now. Now I don't even know where I'm going right now.
Bro, okay, listen. You got Steve Nash at 6. Iverson got 5. Harden at 4. Rose at 7.
Oh, wow.
So Carmelo.
Hey,
8.
Carmelo at.
You said what?
8.
Oh, my gosh.
Bro,
Tracy McGrady.
You gonna put T-Mac 9?
9.
9?
Nate,
Dirk.
the whole thing is messed up, Nate. What do you want me to do, bro?
Dirk.
Two.
KD.
Sorry ass.
Steve Nash over KD? Oh, whew.
Did I say 4 already?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I said 3?
No.
Yeah.
3.
No.
3.
Tim Duncan.
That's not fair, bro. I don't know. 9?
Oh.
You already got Tracy at 9.
That makes no sense, bro. What?
Yeah, this is crazy, Rudy.
I don't want him 1, but I don't want him 10 either.
It's your list.
10.
Oh.
So that means last one, you got Dwight at 1.
Dwight. Oh, sheesh.
So you got Dwight at 1. Sheesh.
Crazy list, Rudy.
Whatever, bro.
This
So ahead,
shows
Nate.
your basketball IQ, Rudy, though. Just putting that out there.
No, that's RJ. Shit.
So that's the last subject of today, man. Thank y'all for coming on. Episode 38, man. Rudy, got anything to say, Rudy?
I mean, it's been great. It's nice. I think the question were a little tougher today. Hopefully, it came out good. But it's always fun. It's always a pleasure being, partaking on the podcast. Nate, it's always good. Good luck to the podcast, and good luck to all of us.
You got to say anything, Nate?
I mean, just appreciate you having me on, bro. Appreciate seeing you, Rudy. Just catching up with y'all boys. And yeah, man, I just want everybody to keep liking, subscribing, continue growing the brand and showing love, and we're going to continue getting better for you. I like the questions today. Like you said, like Rudy said, they were tough, but, they make you think, have you think of some critical answers, So just happy to be here, man. Blessed.
All right, man. See you until next time.
Peace
All right.
out.